Hi guys, welcome to today's math lesson. Today is April 2nd, 2020. How's everyone doing? I am doing well myself. I really miss you guys a lot, so I hope that after the spring break we'll get to see each other soon. You have already completed the do now, so let's just focus on the expectations. Make sure that you are proactive, meaning that you watch the videos as many times as you need it to make sure that you understand the lesson completely. Make sure you complete all assignments and make sure to check any additional resources that I have put under the assignment if you do not completely understand the lesson the first time, and make sure that you look at the feedback I give you. I usually give feedback daily. If you score less than what you wanted, you probably want to retake it again. Okay, and let's move on to today's lesson. We are going to find the volume of a prism. And a prism, we know that it's a solid. It has two identical sides that connect with parallelograms. Now, before we look at how to find a volume, you need to understand where this cubic inch or cubic feet or cubic centimeters comes from. So the volume of a cube with an edge length of 1 inch is equivalent to 1 inch times 1 inch times 1 inch, which is the same as 1 inch to the power of 3. And this is read as 1 cubic inch because this cube is 1 inch on all sides. Basically, when we are trying to find the volume of something, we're just asking how many cube can we fit in those things. And whether it's inch, feet, kilometer, it depends on the size of the container that you want to fit something inside. Now this first example says a regular prism is 4.5 inches long, 1 inch wide, and 1.5 inches high. Find its volume, meaning that how many cubic inch can fit inside this box. So I'm going to draw it. Since there's 4.5 inches, I will put this cube inside. So this little green cube is 1 cubic inch. These little blue cubes are just 1/2 inch because this side you have 1.5 inches. For this side there's 4.5 inches, and then to the back there's 1 inches, 1 inch, excuse me. So you can see that this prism is made up of 4 green cubes, 5 blue half cubes, and 1 yellow quarter cube. Again, it's 4 green cube. These are like 1 cubic inch. And then we have half cubic inches because the measurement of the width is the measurement of the height is 1.5 inches. The measurement of the length is 4.5 inches. So there are 4 inches, 4 full cubic inch, and half cube. And then we have a quarter cube right here. So the total volume of these different size blocks, we can add them up. First of all, we have 4 green cubes, and each green cube is 1 cubic inch. So there are 4 cubic inches in total. Then we have 5 blue half cubes, which is the same as 5 times 1/2 cube. So the volume of the blue area is 5.5 cubic inches. And then we have 1 yellow quarter cube. So we have 1 times 1/4 of a cube equals to 1/4 cubic inch. To add them up, I can add 4 plus 5 halves plus 1/4. Now 5 halves, because I cannot add a number with different denominator, I have to turn it into a fraction with the same denominator as 1/4. So I can multiply both numbers. by 2. So 5 times 2 would give me 10. 2 times 2 would give me 4. So now that I have 10/4, I have the same denominator, which means I can add or subtract those fractions. Now 10/4 plus 1/4 equals to 11/4. Now I have 4 plus 11/4. Now 11/4 can be simplified. 4 can go into 11 two times. So now I have 2 and 3/4 because the remainder after if I have 11 pieces of a cookie and then I take away 2 groups of 4, I have 3 cookies left. So I have 2 whole and 3/4. So 4 plus 2 and 3/4 would give me 6 and 3/4. Now, let's see if the formula that we have learned would work with this scenario. We learned that the volume of any rectangular prism of length, width, and height is given by V for volume equals to length times width times height. So just now we learned that we can draw a cube and then add up how many cubic inches fits inside. Now we're going to use the formula. So the length is 4 1/2 inches. The length is the longer side of the prism. And then we have the width of 1 inch. And then we have the height, which is the distance from the bottom to the top of 1 1/2 inches. Now, like I said before, you have to turn the mixed number into an improper fraction before you can multiply. So 1 stays the same because that is not mixed number. 4 1/2 becomes 9 1/2 because 4 times 2 is 8, 8 plus 1 is 9. So we have 9 1/2. And then we have 1 times 2 equals to 2 plus 1 equals 3. So now we have 3 halves. As you can see, because I can't really divide anything here because the top and the bottom numbers do not have common factors. So I'm just going to multiply across. So now 9 times 3 equals to 27 and 2 times 2 equals 4. So now I have 27/4 and I can convert it into a mixed number. 27 divided by 4, I get 6 with the remainder of 3. So my whole number becomes 6 and the fraction becomes 3/4. You can see that the two methods actually give me the same answer. So you can use this formula to find how many cubic inches are inside a prism. Now, let's look at another example. This prism has a side of 9 centimeters. Sorry, let's step back a little bit. It has the length of 8.4 centimeters, the width of 5.5 centimeters, and the height of 9 centimeters. Now, because the units change into centimeters, we can't really use cubic inches anymore. So in this case, we are going to use a cubic centimeters. A cubic centimeters is a cube with that each side is 1 centimeters. And when you are asked to find a volume, it's just basically asking how many cubic centimeters can I fit inside this box. You can use the same formula. Volume equals length times width times height. And in this case, the length, like we said, is 8.4 centimeters. The width is 5.5 centimeters and the height is 9 centimeters. You can grab a calculator and do it with me, or you can pause the video and do it by hand. Either way, your answer should be 415.8, not square centimeters. Okay, a lot of you use square centimeters when you describe volume, but in this case, this measurement is no longer a square. It becomes cubic centimeters. and we can represent it by centimeters to the power of 3. So the answer to this question is 415.8 cubic centimeters. And now you're going to move on to do the task yourself. I'm going to guide you through part of it. So when I see this problem, I can actually write the formula, volume equals to length times width times height. The question already told you that the length is 5 1/4 inches. The width is 6 inches and the height is 12 inches. So the first thing that you will have to do is you have to turn this 5 1/4 into an improper fraction. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 plus 1 is 21. So now this fraction becomes 21/4 times 6 times 12. You know that 12 can be divided by 4, so you can actually cross them out. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and like I said, because 1, either you multiply or divide any numbers by 1, the value is the same, so I'm not going to even write it down. Now, some of you might think, oh, maybe I can divide 6 by 3. No, you cannot, because these 3 numbers are actually on top of the fraction bar. So now what you're going to do is you're going to multiply 21 times 6 times 3, and that will give you the answer to this question. And remember the unit, you have to look at what's the unit for the length. In this case, the unit is inches. So your unit for your volume should be cubic inches. Alright, after this, you're going to complete the next 2 questions by yourself. And these next 2 questions, will be on the task part, and then you're going to move on to independent practice. Once you're done, complete any Delta Math lessons that are still missing, and then complete 1 lesson on Dreambox. I hope that today's lesson is not too complicated. If you need to rewatch it before you complete your assignment, please do so. If you have any questions, comments, or concern, leave your comments down below or email me or text me. My office hour is from 12 to 1 on Zoom, and the link is in your assignment. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and see you tomorrow. Bye.